I live in Lomita, and I was up here earlier and I got the pleasure of introducing Fatima because I truly believe that diversity is the backbone of our democracy. It's the beauty of what makes our democracy work. However, I wasn't born with that. That came from my parents, Dick and Sharon Pryce. Two peas in a pod. Don't look the same, but they are like, besties 24/7. So I wanted to introduce Dick and Sharon Kyle. They truly believe that diversity is what really diverse backgrounds is what makes our democracy work. So they want to introduce them to you guys. They just got a brief conversation about independent media. Do you want 2 mics? Just 1 mic.
Thank you, Wade. It's a handsome young man. So hello, everybody. We're Dick and Sharon. Some of you may know us. We publish a daily digital publication called the LA Progressive. It goes out every day, and we've been doing that daily for almost 18 years.
When we started it 18 years ago, we thought the world or our neighborhood in Northeast Los Angeles needed more independent voices, not ones constrained by the mainstream media that pushes everything to the middle and really ignores liberal, progressive, radical voices. Now, 18 years later, that is far more critical now that corporations own all the major social media platforms and major newspapers like the Washington Post and the Los Angeles Times are utterly cowed by the Trump regime. So we're glad to be able to publish every day. Over the years, we've gathered dozens and dozens of expert writers who contribute their articles, lawyers, judges, activists, party professors. Yeah, and so we punch it out there every day, and we've built a real community.
So when we first started, like Dick said, we thought that we were just going to be writing for our local community, which, by the way, is in Northeast Los Angeles. But it didn't take very long for us to see that people were reading from disparate parts of not just California, but the country and the world. Recently, we shifted over to another platform because we needed help hosting the LA Progressive. We were under attack a few times in the 18 years. Our site was brought down by people who didn't appreciate our message. And so we shifted over to a new platform. This platform offers us security. What I didn't realize was that we had over 45,000 articles that we have published, edited, and written over the past 18 years. And we're up here today to talk about independent media. There's a couple outside, they have a table. The table is called the Southlanders. And they just started about a month ago. And I asked, well, how's it going? They're independent journalists. And they're trying to establish a foothold in the Southland for independent journalists. Let me tell you guys something. Dick and I had, honestly, every day, we work every day, 7 days a week. We have had, over the past 15 years, over 10 million visits on our site. But about 1% of the people who read the LA Progressive donate anything. I mean, people just come, they don't subscribe, they don't donate. And at first that used to really hurt my feelings. But now I see, we have a society where we have come to expect our news to be free, which explains why the deep-pocketed billionaire class owns the media. Because only they can afford to do that, or you kind of have to be crazy, like we are. Just every single day, get up. So I just want to encourage you to support independent media. And who is independent media? There are media outlets like the Young Turks, or like Democracy Now!, or like The Nation magazine, or Mother Jones, and by the way, we used to have a consortium of 75 independent outlets, and we meet once a month. And there was a coordinator for these meetings, and she was the executive director of our organization, which was called the Media Consortium. And so we come together and we try to figure out ways, well, how can we share the expenses of maybe having an attorney or having an accounting system or it took us a long time, but finally we had to disband because we couldn't afford to pay our executive director of the media consortium. So independent media is so underfunded, but you are not going to get the kinds of messages that you're going to get from independent media. You're not going to get from corporate media. Right now, today, I don't know who is covering what's going on in Paramount. You know that the Trump administration has ordered National Guard. They federalized the National Guard. The National Guard is typically run by the state of California. Each state has control of the National Guard. The National Guard right now, today, just a few miles from here, is tear gassing people, is doing all kinds of things, and there have been suggestions that they're going to send in the Marines. Why? I don't know.
So, among the two of us, I'm a longtime magazine editor, and she's our innovator. And the metrics we've seen from our readership over the years, we've seen most readers are older, 50s, 60s, 70s, and beyond, had a hard time reaching young people. So in recent months, we've started a regular video cast of interviewing our authors and putting the interviews out on YouTube as well as on our site. And we've also started providing audio versions of the article with an idea to reach out to younger people. And I would say that if you go up to our site, it's not like the New York Times when you never could get a letter to the editor on the site. If you have something good to say and would like to say it, please contact us and we'll certainly consider it, because our idea is to build a community of people who are involved in what's going on, like you folks are.
So when we started the LA Progressive, like I said, we thought it was just going to be for our local community. But now we have a podcast. For those of you who have smartphones, you can go to laprogressive.com. You can subscribe, or you can just take a look at the articles. But the articles go in depth about current topics that are happening right here locally in Southern California, but also the rest of the state and the rest of the country. Our articles are written through the lens of the progressive movement. Now, my son, Wade, when he introduced us, he talked about the need for us to have solidarity across ethnic, racial, gender divisions. Guys, it's the only way we are going to be able to mount a powerful opposition to what is happening to our country. I'm sure that, there are a lot of people out here that have gray hair. There are a lot of young people who don't realize this is not normal. And it just breaks my heart. So our focus is always to support this multiracial, multi-ethnic, multi-gendered democracy, and to do it by telling stories and reporting. And we ask you to read them. If you go to the LA Progressive, we don't force you to pay. We don't have a paywall. That's why only 1% of people give us any money, because it's not a requirement. We really do want you to learn. And so let me tell you how my politics has changed as a result of us learning to do a website. When we started, my son was telling me, that we've always been progressives, and we've always, obviously, he's my husband, we've always been multiracial. I've always been black, he's always been white. But I didn't always have the same politics that I have now. I was a little bit a moderate. I didn't realize, because I relied on mainstream media, I didn't realize the depths of despair that we were headed towards. And you could see it. It was on the horizon just 10 years ago, even before that. So it's the reading of the LA Progressive, editing, that has educated me about what's happening with our terrible immigration system, what's happening with our mass incarceration, what's happening in Gaza. We cannot continue to support regimes that do these horrendous things in our land. and we've got to work together to stop it. So, I have 1 minute yet. Lula, thank you so much. So I want to encourage you all to support independent media. You will get stories on independent media that you will not get in mainstream. Not on MSNBC, even though MSNBC is better than Fox, but it's hard to believe that there are still people that support the current administration. It's stunning to us. Thank you for being here. Most people are out doing something else. So you took time out of your day to support all of these organizations. There's some great organizations out there. Thank you for being here. Thank you for supporting independent media. And if anybody has any questions, if I could just take 1 or 2 questions. Any questions? Wade.
Because we discussed it. When was the last time the National Guard was sent to Los Angeles? And what was their goal?
Okay, so the National Guard, the one that I remember, and I hope I'm right, it's in 1992, during the civil unrest around the Rodney, what is that? Okay, I'm going to make this quick. 1992, the National Guard was sent to Los Angeles by George H.W. Bush, and it was around the civil unrest as a result of the Rodney King beating and the outcome of that trial. But I want to say something that's very different. I'll pay no attention to that sound. There are 2 major differences between what's happening today and what happened in 1992. So today, the administration sent the National Guard against the wishes of the governor of the state of California and the mayor of Los Angeles. Both said, we are not having a crisis that cannot be handled by local law enforcement. We do not.
Right. And the last time the president sent the National Guard to a state against the will of the governor was in 1965 into Little Rock, into desegregating the schools there.
It's Alabama. That's right, it was Alabama. It was 1965, which I'm sure half of you weren't even born then. So I've gone beyond my time. Thank you, Wade, for bringing this up. We are being occupied by the federalization of the National Guard against our governor and our mayor's wishes. Thank you.